We've all heard the stories. Public transit projects are just notorious for being crazy expensive and a lot of the time pretty underused. But what if the solution wasn't just about the trains themselves? What if it was hiding in plain sight, right there under the tracks? Today, we're going to dig into a new model for urban transit that could seriously change everything.
It's the billion-dollar question, right? City planners all over the world wrestle with this. They pour all this money into shiny new metro lines, but the story seems to end the same way, with these crippling costs and, frustratingly low numbers of people actually riding them. So where is it all going wrong? Let's call it the empty train problem. Just building these systems takes a massive upfront investment. It creates this kind of financial black hole that just gets deeper and deeper when the trains aren't full. Let's break down what those core challenges really are. It's really a vicious cycle. Cities put up all this capital for a new line, but then they struggle to actually get people to ride it. And a huge reason for that is the classic last mile problem. That difficulty people have just getting from their front door to the station or from the station to their final destination. This whole disconnect ends up putting a massive strain on public finances. So, what if we've been looking at this all wrong? What if the solution wasn't just about the trains? What if it was about the very structure they run on? This is where we get to the heart of this whole innovative model, a new vision that is literally found right under the tracks. The main idea here is actually powerful because it's so simple. Just stop treating transit and real estate like they're two totally separate things. By merging them, the infrastructure itself can actually help pay for the project, all while becoming a really vibrant part of the community. Okay, so this brings us to the first big piece of the solution, a really clever way to deal with that funding gap by unlocking value in places that, honestly, most of us just walk right by without a second thought. Just think about all that empty, kind of forgotten space underneath elevated train tracks and viaducts. This model completely reimagines that wasted urban space. It sees it as a perfect spot for shops, cafes, and other businesses, creating a lively hub right there at the heart of the transit line. So by activating these spaces, you create this powerful win-win situation. It brings in private investors, it generates new revenue to help fund the system, and, this is crucial, it drives foot traffic directly to the stations. This is what boosts ridership, all while revitalizing the entire neighborhood around it. And look, this isn't just some vague concept. There's a really clear roadmap for how to make it happen. You've got these flexible partnership models. So whether it's a joint venture, a simple lease agreement, or a revenue sharing deal, these frameworks are designed to bring in private money and make sure everybody involved can succeed. But, attracting funding is really only half the battle. The other half is tackling that enormous initial construction cost. So this model also proposes a much smarter, more integrated way to actually build the thing. A really key part of this strategy involves something called Personal Rapid Transit, or PRT. So what is that? Well, just imagine a network of small automated pods that are running on their own dedicated tracks. They're on demand, and they take you directly where you want to go within a local area. And here is where PRT becomes a total game changer. It directly solves that last mile problem we were talking about earlier. These smaller pods, they act like a feeder system, efficiently connecting the main MRT stations to all the nearby homes, offices, and neighborhoods. That, in turn, makes the main line way more convenient and attractive for people to use. So this all leads to a really elegant three-step strategy for slashing those construction costs. First, you integrate the PRT system to handle all the local trips. And because the PRT is covering those shorter journeys, you can actually build fewer of the big, expensive MRT stations. But the real masterstroke, that's step 3. This is the core of the whole integration. Instead of building two completely separate elevated structures, one for the train, one for the pods, you design a single shared viaduct for both. It's such a simple idea, but it eliminates so much redundant construction and materials, and that leads to absolutely massive cost savings. Okay, so let's put it all together. You've got the clever funding model from the real estate, and you've got the smarter, cheaper construction. What's the real payoff here? Well, it turns out to be a win for pretty much everyone involved. It creates this really positive cycle. Investors, they see a solid return from that integrated real estate. Cities get sustainable transit that doesn't break the bank. We, the commuters, get a system that's way more connected and convenient. And of course, better public transit means a reduced environmental impact for all of us. So, the ultimate takeaway here is that this model goes way beyond just building a more affordable train line. It's really a blueprint for creating cities that are more financially stable, more livable, and way better connected. It's a foundation for sustainable urban growth for decades to come.
This model is just a powerful reminder that sometimes the most transformative solutions, they aren't about inventing something totally brand new. They're about reimagining the potential of the spaces and the structures that we see every single day.